Two, the management, the leadership at WLTX understands how important it is that I am here, because normally I would be on TV at 12 o'clock and I won't be there today because I am here. So I thank my managers for understanding how important this is. And then third, definitely not finally, but I'm the mother of 3 daughters. And we all know domestic violence doesn't just affect women. But as the mother of 3 daughters, I know how important it is to make sure that you instill in young women from birth the value that they have, and to understand that you are worth more than being abused. So I would not be any place else other than here today. I am honored, and I'm looking forward to learning a lot today, because as much as you guys think I give you, you give me that much back, plus some.
On behalf of the city of Orangeburg, I do welcome all of you here. If this is your first time, this is a great city, a city where we have a lot of brotherly and sister love and great family city, so we welcome you here. But to Representative Gilda Cobb-Hunter and the CASA system, we want to applaud you from the city level of your great efforts that you're doing in this city. Would y'all help me applaud the CASA system? We want to keep bringing awareness to the voices that are silent, because we have a lot of voices that we have not heard from yet. So when we have forums like this gives them information to come forth and to speak and let them know we can bring an awareness to those voices. So we certainly appreciate the efforts of CASA this morning. I'm going to ask Representative Cobb-Hunter if she will come forth, please. We have a proclamation from the city.
And Mayor, while Ms. Faust is coming, I guess she think everybody know Deltas. She got up here, didn't even bother to say who she was. For those of you who say, who is that woman? This is Patty Faust from the big city of Denmark.
All right. Okay. Whereas the crime of domestic violence violates a person's privacy, dignity, and security and humanity through the systematic use of physical and sexual or psychological assault or abuse in order to exert control over the individual. Whereas according to the Violence Policy Center of South Carolina, it ranks #1 in the nation for the number of women killed by men. Whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month calls attention to the importance of working together to assure a life safe, free from harm for all South Carolinians. Now, therefore, I, Michael C. Butler, Mayor of the City of Orangeburg, South Carolina, do hereby proclaim October 2015 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of Orangeburg, and encourage all citizens to join together in campaigning to eliminate domestic violence while reaching out to its victims and letting them know help is available. Thank you, and may God bless you.
We are united in the battle against domestic violence. You talk about collaborative partnerships. I can assure you that there is a collaborative partnership. The Sheriff's Office talks about backup, they've got it. And I know that the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety has that same backup. In addition to that, CASA, you always have backup. And that's from either one of us.
My name is Angela Young. I'm from Holly Hill, South Carolina. I am the single mother of 3 kids, ages 16, 10, and 8. I am a very proud single parent. It is a struggle, but I stand here to tell you that I do it. By the grace of God, I do it. Abuse was something that was very new to me. As a young teenager, I had friends that were in abusive relationships, and I would come to their aid to help them, always reminding myself that I would never travel down that road. I would often say to them, the first time a man hit me, I was done with him. Not knowing years later, I would walk a mile in their shoes. The Bible tells you to be careful of how you throw stones. my stone come back at me and hit me hard. I came from a single-parent home where I was surrounded by males. My mother taught me the right way. Never seen some things that others saw in life. My father passed when I was 2, so the male figures that were around me were my brothers. My brothers were my protectors throughout life. They couldn't protect me from the road I was headed down. I was with a guy for over 10 years that tried to destroy me and take my soul. When my abuse started, it was just a simple point in the face that led to being pushed and shoved, to him grabbing on me. And I would hide the bruises and the marks from my family. I knew that if they knew what was going on, they would have flipped out. As time progressed, he started punching me and coming out of his mouth being very disrespectful towards me. He had me sheltered up in his world that it made me turn against him. Once you get involved in abuse, it's hard to try and pull yourself away from it, especially when you don't want to go back to the family members you flipped on for him because you don't want to hear, "I told you so." So I stayed and dealt with it until I finally got my breaking point. That one day I had enough of him and all the abuse he was giving to me. He pulled the gun on me several times, threatening to kill me. The very last time he pulled the gun, it jammed. It was nobody but God. Reality kicked in that he was going to kill me or I would kill him because I was going to fight for my life. That's when I reached out to the justice system to see what help I could get to live to see another day. I would call for the cops to come out to my aid, and some will come with negative attitudes saying, "You just wasting our time. Soon as we leave, you gonna let them back in." At the end of the day, how did you know whether today was my breaking point? And I had enough. Even though I had proof and evidence of a problem of abuse with him, I still received a hard time with the system. I was just so sad and in disbelief that I had to endure many obstacles trying to get help. I never gave up hope. That's when I was introduced to CASA. My help got up and rolling. My temporary restraining order came. They convicted him of unlawful use of a telephone. That gave me a break for a short minute. I didn't know that these services were out here for abused women that's trying to get free. Thank God for a victim's advocate that felt compassion for me, not trying to judge me or what I was going through. I felt like the justice system could have handled my situation in a different way. During my course of going through, they were trying to change the laws of criminal domestic violence. That's what it was called during my period of going through. I was sitting at home watching Channel 19 and saw that they finally changed the laws. I was very, very happy, thinking to myself that maybe if they would have changed them a little sooner, maybe I wouldn't have to deal with my situation as long as I had to. The new laws give women more hope to know that there is a way out. Thankfully today, I stand before you 3 years and counting, free from my abuser.
Thank you so much for being here this morning, for covering this event. Today is the beginning of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's recognized across the country during the month of October. And this Domestic Violence Town Hall was being presented as a way to educate the Orangeburg County community on issues of domestic violence, on the new domestic violence law that was passed. We heard survivors talk about their experience. I am so gratified at the courage that the survivors who were a part of this conversation today, the courage they showed by coming forward.
I heard you speak about the people using pets. That was very interesting.
Yeah. Last year, I sponsored a bill which would include pets in orders of protection. Right now, before that bill passed, the orders of protection included only the person who was being victimized. What we know as a result of years of doing this work is that batterers, abusers tend to use pets as a form of intimidation, of control. And pets, for a lot of people, it's like a human. And they're very close and develop attachments and affection for their pets. It was critical as a part of the work that CASA Family Systems has done and other shelter programs across the state that we address this issue. It is as traumatic in using a pet as it would be for a child for some victims.
I would imagine that it's easier for you to prepare this type of legislation than it is for others because you're a direct hands-on person. You've been involved in this issue for 30 years, I would imagine.
Yeah, I've been doing this. This is my life's work. People talk all the time about being an elected official, but I really get my joy, passion, my direction, purpose in working with issues of violence within families. I am just very, very glad that as a result of of a lot of people, that we were able this past session to get a domestic violence law passed. Now, it's important for all of us to remember that we cannot legislate this issue away, that the legislation is good. There's room for improvement as far as the legislation is concerned. But what we each has to do, in my view, is to take the personal responsibility to learn about this issue, to get educated about it, to be determined and committed to going out and making a difference, because only then will we reduce the risk of domestic violence.
One last thing before we go, and I know you're very busy. Senator Shealy, your female counterpart, or the only female counterpart.
Not for long.
And this was not for long, hopefully, in the state Senate. Tell us about her role and your collaboration with her, if you will, because I know this is an area that she's very interested in.
Senator Shealy is right now the only female, only woman in the South Carolina Senate. She has a passion and a heart for issues of domestic violence, issues involving children who have been abused. She has been a great partner over in the Senate, working with me and others on making sure that this legislation was passed in the Senate and not bogged down in the process.
Representative Gilda Cobb-Hunter, we want to thank you for all that you do for the state.
Thank you for all that you do for this community and educating people and trying to keep the community aware of what's happening.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're here at the CASA Family Systems breakout event for domestic violence, and it's been a great session. We've heard from very important people about this very important issue. And we hope that it's been of a service to you in this community, because this is an issue, as so many have said, it needs to be eradicated, it needs to be done away with. I'm Harvey Elwood, reporting for New Perspectives Media. Thank you.